Hi, today we're in Isaiah chapter 9. We're going to read two verses, Isaiah 9, 6, and 7, as we follow along on our journey going through the book of Isaiah together. I want to talk to you about the subject of government and leadership and how important they are and some of the powerful ramifications there are regarding godly government and godly leadership. For a child is born to us and a son is given. The government will rest on his shoulders and he will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. His government and its peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David for all eternity. The passionate commitment of the Lord of heaven's armies will make this happen. This is such a powerful passage in two verses. There's such a great glimpse into the power of godly government and godly leadership. Let's start with verse 6. A child is born and a son is given. Can I suggest to you that children are an inheritance from the Lord? I know that didn't originate with me, right? Children are inheritance of the Lord. You know, one of the ways that God speaks to us about his faithfulness to us and how he will be faithful to us in the future is that he gives us children. Our world around us today, and I suspect it's always been that way, regardless of what time period you have lived, but today, especially because we're living now, we can see the turmoil about the projections into the future, and there's fear about this, and there's fear about that, and the world's going to end in 12 years, and wow. I want to tell you that one of the things that roots me in faith and hope for the future is that God has given me children. For unto us a child is born and a son is given. There's something powerful about sonship. In sonship, in the Old Testament culture, sons were the ones who inherited the family authority, the family power, the family wealth, and the family name. Children are amazing and a promise of our future. Promise of God's faithfulness for our future. But sons, they carry the authority of government. And a son was given to us. Of course, this is talking about Jesus to us. It's a prophetic word prophesying about Messiah coming and the Son of God coming. And the government, it says, will rest on his shoulders and he will be called 5 kind of responsive names. But first, let's talk about the government on his shoulders. Government, I believe, does not rest on institutions. Government does not rest on structures. Government in the kingdom of God rests on people. In the New Testament, we find that Jesus gave 5, some would refer to them as governmental offices. He says they're gifts, so let's just call them gifts to the church. Apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. They're governmental in the sense that they're distinctly individual, personal people. The government of the church doesn't rest on a body. It's not an elder board that carries the government. It's an elder that carries governmental function and authority. The government rests on people, not on structures and not on organizations. I believe in the kingdom, it's about what we carry as individuals, what we carry as people, and that's where the authority and power of God rests. It's not necessarily in the organization. It's not in the structure. So it's not really where you are within a structure that is so important or that will define you, because the gifts of God will make room for you. It's what you carry that's important. This child that was born to us, this son that was given, the government is going to rest on his shoulders. It's not going to churn. It's not going to be a turmoil. It's not going to be a struggle. It's not going to be a bull in china closet kind of thing. The government of God is a resting government on the shoulders of Jesus. And it says there where he's going to be called 5 responsive names: wonderful, or in other words, amazing. These are all responsive because the results of the effect of his government and the effectiveness of the government of God through us should elicit these kind of responses in the people we lead. Amazing. Wow, wonderful. The second one is counselor, wise, wisdom. Wow, thank you for giving me that wisdom. Mighty God, powerful. An ability to help me get from A to B through what seemed to be no doorway. And then there was a doorway. The power, the might of God. everlasting Father, that sense of being nurtured and covered and loved. Prince of Peace. That total shalom, the package of it's well with me. Those 5 things are results of the government of God, and the results that should be produced out of every leader, every child, and every son of God who's become a wearer of the government of God in any way, in any situation. The government and its peace will never end. You know, the hallmark of a good leader who's carrying the government of God on his shoulders is that wherever he goes, he brings peace. And I want to say to you, beloved, today, live in the shalom, peace of God.